866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. And thank you very much for tuning in. Here we are with a story. Many of you sent this story to me. And again, as you know, on the Tom Leykis show, many times I give you my opinion. It's based on a lifetime of experience, a lifetime of knowing people. I mean, I really did go to the School of Hard Knocks, folks. I really did. And I must tell you that I don't always have, and I'm sorry about this, I don't always have the empirical evidence. I just know that I'm right. And then many times we find out that there is a scientific study, that somebody has developed empirical evidence that proves that what I've been saying all along has been true. Sometimes the information comes in and people call up and they start to try to attack the survey or attack the science. And most of the time, the stuff that comes out is really obvious. Like, isn't that obvious to people? They needed to do a study for this. But yes, they do these studies. And yes, more often than not, we find out that what I have been telling you is true. This is one of those times, and many, many, many of you saw this story, and you sent it in to me, and I was very happy to see that you were paying attention, because I was on vacation when these stories started coming in. But it doesn't mean I wasn't reading my email. I was. But here's the story. And it's just fascinating. This is the version from Canada.com, which is a website of a consortium of Canadian newspapers. Dateline New York. Again, it's going to seem obvious. When I read this to you, it's going to seem obvious. But it's not obvious. They had to do research. I'm glad they did the research. I'm glad they proved me right on this. Dateline New York. People may claim looks or money aren't everything when picking a mate. But when it comes to the crunch, men go for beauty. And women choose wealth and security. According to an international study. Well, as Popeye once said, well, blow me down. It's Popeye who said that. Or Elton John, I don't remember. But anyway, Indiana University cognitive scientist Peter Todd and colleagues from Germany, England, and Scotland as well used a speed dating session in Germany to look at what people said they wanted in a mate with whom they actually chose. In a statement, Todd said, while humans may pride themselves on being highly evolved, most still behave like the stereotypical Neanderthals when it comes to choosing a mate. He said evolutionary theories and psychology suggest that men and women should trade off different traits in each other. And when we look at the actual mate choices people make, this is what we find evidence for. It's bad grammar, but I just quoted it. Didn't make that statement myself. The study, published this week in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, and that's on my coffee table. Actually, it's not my coffee table. It's in my bathroom. Sitting there with the Journal of the American Medical Association. That's right. It was based on a speed dating session in which men and women had mini dates of between 3 and 5 minutes with up to 30 different people. Of course, what kind of date is that? There's no sex. Now, if you had sex with 30 different people, you'd have something. It says here, after every date, why call them dates? Just encounters. The men and women marked a box on a card saying whether they would like to see the other person again. Before the session, Todd also asked 46 adults to fill out a questionnaire assessing themselves and their ideal mate according to traits like attractiveness, financial status, health, and parenting qualities. He said participants stated they wanted to find someone like themselves, a socially acceptable answer. But once the sessions began, the men went after the more attractive women. I'm shocked. And the women were drawn to material wealth and security, setting their standards according to how they viewed themselves. As you see, by the way, women did not pick the potential mates according to looks. It's what I tell you all the time. You can call up here and tell me what an ugly piece of crap I am as much as you want. That's why I laugh my ass off, because whether you think I'm a stunning-looking guy or a piece of crap, chicks don't care. They care about whether I can bring home the bacon. I bring home the bacon, I just don't feed it to anyone else. It's the bottom line. But that's how women choose guys. I've been telling you this. And now the survey comes out, the study from these professors at Indiana University, and also from Germany, England, and Scotland, and this is what they came up with. Says here also, no surprise here, the men were not as picky as the women. The men, on average, wanted to see about 50% of the women again, but the women only wanted to meet about a third of the men for a second time. Probably had gotten their FICO scores. Todd said ancestral individuals who made their mate choices in this way, women trading off their attractiveness for higher quality men, and men looking for any attractive women who would accept them, would have had an evolutionary advantage in greater numbers of successful offspring. No doubt about it. You would have attractive people being raised by people with the resources to raise them. That's right. As we know, of course, attractive, successful people are having less and less children, leaving the breeding to the dumb and the poor. And you look around yourself, and the truth has to be told. Who's doing most of the breeding? The dumb and the poor. That's who's doing it. They're picking up the slack for the rich and successful and the intelligent, who know that if you keep having kids, your lifestyle continues to deteriorate. Bottom line. But there we have proof again. Men want the most attractive woman they can afford. Women want the richest guy their looks can attract. I've always said it's Darwinism at its finest. Water seeks its own level. And ladies, I always give you the litmus test for this, okay? I said this to a woman I was with, and she was positively apoplectic. I said this to a woman I was with. I said to a woman I was with, I said to her, remember when you were a little girl? I swear I said this. The boys here know because I think they knew the girl in question. I said, remember when you were a little girl and your mom would read fairy tales to you? She said, yes. I said, did she ever read you stories like, Cinderella? And there was, Cinderella. She was the beautiful one who had to stay home while the wicked stepsisters were out partying. And she was home. She was called Cinderella because she had to clean the cinders out of the fireplace while the wicked stepsisters were out having a great time. And then one day Prince Charming came along on the white horse, and there was the glass slipper, and he put it on Cinderella's foot, and it fit, and she got onto the back of the white horse and rode off into the sunset, presumably happily ever after there with Prince Charming. Remember that story? Yes. I said, remember you dreamed of meeting Prince Charming? Oh, yes, I do. Guess what? I'm him! Here I am, baby. I'm Prince Charming. I'm the guy you've been waiting for your entire goddamn life. I'm the guy you dreamed of. I'm him. I'm him. I'm the guy you went to sleep at night thinking about. Remember you were waiting for the white horse to come along? Here I am, galloping on the white horse, baby. Scratching my balls and watching ESPN. Here I am. I am the best you could do. I am it. She said, well, you're not the best I could do. If I'm not the best you could do, why didn't you do better? Oh, she was livid. And then she spent weeks trying to tell me about all the people she could have been with. I could have been with this one. I could have been with that one. Yeah, why weren't you? This is somebody who'd been dumped by her last 3 boyfriends, by the way. So funny. Yeah, that's right, ladies. If you don't believe me, I always say it. If you don't believe me, tomorrow morning, when you're making your egg beaters, and that little breakfast with toast squares or Pop-Tarts or whatever you're doing, take a look across that breakfast table. There he is, the man of your dreams, the man you dreamed of. There he is, balding, fat, doesn't shower often enough, watches sports all the time, forgets all your major birthdays and anniversaries, doesn't give a rat's ass. There you are. That's the best you can do, ladies. That's it right there. I mean, water seeks its own level. Rich guys get hot chicks. Poor guys get the fat and fuglies. Seriously, hot chicks get the rich guys, the successful guys. Average-looking chicks get the middle-of-the-road guys, the State Farm insurance salesmen and people like that. And then the fat and fuglies, you know what they get. They get the dregs, that's right. They don't get the plumber, they get the plumber's assistant. The plumber goes to the woman who's somewhere in the middle, because the plumber makes good money. I mean, plumbers make $60, $70 an hour, okay? Plumber makes good money. It's the plumber's apprentice. It's that guy on Venice Boulevard who's standing there dressed like he's dressed like a cup of Coke at Quiznos, waving at the cars going by. You know the guy I'm talking about? That's the one who's with the fat and fugly at home. That's the one who knocked up his high school girlfriend. That's him. And you know what? People are horrified when I say this. I mean, I know there's people out there right now crashing cars over this. It's so politically incorrect, but it's so true. It's so true. We needed a scientific study to tell us that men want hot chicks. We needed a scientific study to find out that women want rich guys. Come on. It's true. Don't start calling here about love. And don't start calling here and saying, well, I'm the exception to the rule. I'm the hottest chick in the world, and my boyfriend is a loser. By the way, what does that tell us about you? Think about that. I mean, I just love that this is true, and I love that people get so pissed off about it. They do, don't they?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
You are just almost unbearable. You know that? You're so pig-headed.
The Tom Leykis Show. 97.1 Free FM. SoCal's FM talk station.
The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. That is our telephone number. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, yes. I mean, come on. It's true. I've been telling you. Now there's a survey, another study that shows that what I've been telling you is true. But it seems so obvious, right? It seems really obvious. Men want hot chicks. Women want rich guys. Scientific evidence now that proves this. What do you think about that? 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hi to Sal on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Sal.
How you doing? It's an honor to speak to you, sir.
It is indeed.
Long-time listener. I have to agree with you on your whole philosophy. I mean, a lot of people don't like to hear the truth. I mean, you give the raw truth, but nonetheless, I mean, you look around you and it's the truth.
I don't see why you need a scientific study, but since they did that...
I don't think you need a scientific study. I mean, you can just walk around any Saturday night, Tom. You go walk around places like Vegas. I mean, just yesterday I'm watching the VMAs, right? And it just occurred to me, like, I saw all these hot girls on TV, just all these hot chicks that are at these parties and stuff, and I kind of think, like, how do these chicks get access to events like that? And, of course, it's their looks.
Right.
It has to be their looks.
Right. Well, it's like anytime you go to a nightclub. I'm the bouncer lets all the hot chicks in.
Yeah.
And then
all the hot chicks.
And then keeps a certain number of the guys out. And that way, the guys who are getting in, who are on the list, or VIPs, whatever, they've got a big harem of hot chicks to choose from.
Yeah, it's a bunch of crap. And, I mean, realistically, Tom, I mean, a lot of these guys have a lot of money, so, I mean, absolutely right. All these hot chicks, go after the guys with big bucks. But I kind of disagree with you in a sense where just to the point of this is that a lot of these hot chicks, go after these guys and, they trap these guys, they marry them and stuff. And then later on what they end up doing is they end up banging the pool boy, the 20-year-old, 25-year-old, buff pool boy and burning the rich guy and taking half his stuff. These women are smart.
Yeah.
If these rich guys are even smarter, they're going to be doing the same exact thing on to the side and hopefully, trading in the old product for, some new product.
Well, that's right. But, I mean, people get so insulted when I say this, and they say, oh, well, what about love, Tom? I mean, just because you're hot doesn't mean you're going to go for a rich guy. What if you fall in love? What if you fall in love?
In my opinion, Tom, there's no such thing as true love. I mean, there's no such thing as true love. As long as you have, good-looking people out there, you're always going to have people less than for other people, no matter how much they say you love you. It's just not there.
Let me give you an example. I'm always looking at these personal ads websites, just to see what people are saying and then to use the material on the air. And I saw one personal ad from a woman who said, I'm looking for someone who wants to start a family right away.
Oh, man.
Now, wait a minute. Isn't it supposed to go the other way around? Like you get to know somebody and love them. And if you love them, then you want to create a family with them.
Exactly.
These are people who are like, I'm casting a play, okay? I want you to read for the role of husband. And then if you pass the audition, boom, you're a husband. Then you're a father, boom. But that's it. That woman who placed that ad doesn't even care if you're hot or not or rich or what. They want to have a baby, and they're going to do it with whoever says yes.
Oh, I could probably guarantee it, Tom. She was probably one of these chicks that just, had her fun, had her looks, used it as far as she could go, and then, you know what? She's washed up and used up, and now she has to try to trap some nice guy out there, to finally take care of this used product, I guess you can put it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, again, I don't buy used cars.
Why, Tom? I got to keep my FICO score up. Anyways, if you could take me out with the blow-up, Tom, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Of course I can. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Here comes Janet on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Oh, man.
Now, wait a minute. Isn't it supposed to go the other way around? Get to know someone and love them. Despite the warning that the guinea gave her before she got on the air, Janet did not follow instruction and left the radio turned up, and then she did not know when she was on the air, so she's now thinking about what all this means. Still thinking. It's going to take a while. It'll be until the delay has passed and she hears her name on her car radio that she'll realize that she's on the air. Here it comes. Here comes the bomb. And then I'm going to say the caller's name. Here it comes.
Hi, Tom. How are you? Hello?
Yes?
How are you?
Having a good laugh at your expense here.
Oh, okay, good. I actually just wanted to make a comment about what you have to say. I do believe that girls do go for money. Yes, I totally agree with that. But one comment that I do want to make is that physical attraction also has to be there. There has to be some sort of attraction.
No, it doesn't. That's why so many guys complain they're not getting any sex at home.
No.
Because women will marry you even if the sex is lousy. Women will marry you even if, dear, women will marry you even if the sex is lousy. I don't care if you would do it. In general, women do.
Okay, but when a guy and a girl just meet, the first thing that attracts them is the physical attraction,
Don't speak for them, because I think, just like this survey says, I think that for men, that's how it is. But for women want to know what your FICO score is. They want to know what's in your bank account. They want to know what you do for a living, what kind of car you drive, what zip code you live in. They don't want to know what you could do in the sack. In fact, they try to delay that as long as possible.
Yes and no. I
dear, I know you. I know, dear. I know. I understand that you. I understand that you're a balls out slut, and it's all about chemistry for you. And you jump into bed and ride a guy like a pony the minute you find somebody you're attracted to. But the average woman is holding out like eBay. They put up their sexuality up there for bids, and the highest bidder is going to get it.
I don't agree with that.
How many women have you dated?
I agree with everything else.
How many women have you dated? How many women have you dated?
How many what?
How many women have you dated?
How many women have I dated?
Yes.
0.
Well, then you don't know.
Okay.
You only know about yourself.
Okay.
Okay. So when you find a guy you find attractive, you ride him like a pony and you don't care how much money he makes. Fine, that's you.
No, I do care how much money he makes.
Oh,
no,
and you
I
care how much money.
Do. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
But I'm telling you that there are women who get into relationships with guys even when there's no sexual chemistry. And that is why so many men complain that they're not getting anything at home.
Okay, Tom, I guess you're right.
Yes, I am. We waited a minute for that. She spoke right on cue, though. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Tom on the Tom Leykis Show, and you now heard the word Tom more times in 10 seconds than you'll ever hear it the rest of this week. Hello.
What's up, Tom? How you doing?
I'm doing okay, Tom. Welcome to the Tom Leykis Show. My name is Tom.
Mine too, Tocayo. Just wanted to make a comment.
Hey, we're on the air. You can't use the S word.
Oh, my God, I'm so sorry. This stuff starts from the moment we go to school, and all they need to do is pay attention. Because when we're in school, it's the hot chick cheerleaders that are going after the football jock popular guys. Now, there's no money involved there, but it's a status thing. And then as it goes older, as they get older in society, it becomes a thing about status, of course. So all they got to do is just look back at the lessons they learned in school.
Well, I think that's true. And again, I think that women are taught this by, look who their role models are. You know,
absolutely.
Nicole Richie.
Absolutely.
It's Nicole Richie and Hillary Duff and Lindsay Lohan.
Countless other celebrities that have no talent, that just have looks.
Right.
Just want to say thanks a lot, Tom. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate the call. Bye. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Christopher on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Yes.
Hey, what's going on, brother? I totally want to get in on this conversation. I'm a first-time listener. My friends have been filling me in on this show for like a long time, and I never actually really checked it out. But honest truth, women go for money. They totally do, and I will agree with you on that one.
Tell me how you know.
Well, I mean, honest truth, if you think about it, what's up with this world today? What is going on in this world?
What is it with these kids? What is it?
It's not only the kids, but I mean, look at the fashions of what's going on. Look at how many outfits are all out in this world. Look at how expensive everything's going. Purses are going for $800. I mean, people are sitting there. I went out to Hollywood not too long ago. $10 for a drink. For a single drink of a shot of Malibu rum, it was $10. Women, honestly, once you
by the way, in Hollywood, wait, in Hollywood, that's cheap. Where'd you get $10 a shot? I want to go there.
The Spider Club.
The Spider Club. That's where we're all going. That's it. $10 a shot. I want to save money.
But honest truth, you pull out your credit card in a bar. Automatic instinct, women are automatically looking at you at, okay, is he going to buy the cheap alcohol or is he going to buy the expensive alcohol? The minute you buy that expensive alcohol, you get 3 women coming up to you already.
Well, but the thing is, you shouldn't be buying any alcohol if you can avoid it.
Well, yeah, if you can avoid it. But, I mean, you go out to a bar, you go out to a club, you know you're going to have a couple drinks no matter what.
Yeah, but the point is that, first of all, when you buy drinks for a chick, you should be reasonably sure that you're going to get laid.
I will agree with you on that one, I guess.
And the problem is many guys like you spend money and then they go, well, thanks a lot. Then they go back to their boyfriend.
There are people that do get used. Yes, I will agree.
Like, did you see that? Did you see that Heineken? Did you see that Heineken commercial? It was a perfect example of this. The Heineken commercial where the hot chick comes up to the bar. And then she says, well, if you're going to buy me a Heineken, you got to buy one for my friend. And so the guy does, and she takes them, and she says, thanks. And she brings the Heineken back to her boyfriend, who's back of the bar.
One of my work associates was actually sitting there talking to me about a girl who was sitting there getting free drinks from one guy and actually talking to him and going to leave with him by the end of the night and gave him her number.
Right.
So another proven example that that's what happens.
Another proven example, for God's sake.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
I feel that I think you and the media perpetuate the assumption that elderly people are slow and stupid. And I tell you.
Why would I perpetuate something like that?
The Tom Leykis Show. 97.1 Free FM. SoCal's FM talk station.
The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. That is our telephone number. We're talking about the big survey that came out. Yes, men want hot chicks. Women want rich guys. It took a scientific study to come up with that. Let's say hello here to Matt on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Tom? First-time listeners.
Doing great.
Good, man.
Yeah.
No, I remember what you were talking about earlier, and I was cracking up because, I mean, you were talking about, like, the status and the reputation of the feminine species as we know it. And, man, I was thinking back to my history classes. It's been going back, like, centuries. They've been picking the well-to-do, high reputations, kings, emperors, Caesars. I mean, you name it. They go and they crave that power.
Oh, I think that's true.
I mean, it drives me nuts because, I mean, I sit there and I go to a beautiful woman. I've already picked her out for the evening, and what's the first question she'll ask me? What do you do for a living? Now, almost close to the lotus, like it's a loaded question. It's like a shotgun staring at you. Now, you have two choices. You could lie to her and basically say, yeah, I do this fancy job. It's like, you know, you go up to her and say, I'm a petroleum distribution engineer, when you're really nothing more than a gas, attendant. But I mean, you could lie or you could tell her the truth. Now, which one does she prefer? Of course, you prefer the truth, she says.
Oh, she says she prefers say the truth and she won't have sex with you. So just
exactly.
You tell a lie.
Right off. I mean, it's the biggest hypocritical, situation I've ever seen. And what's worse is, it can even be spun not only, remember you saying about fairy tales with Cinderella? I was cracking up because I was thinking to myself, he picks the hottest chick out of all the girls in Cinderella's house. She's the lowest maintenance, and she's the nicest. But it's totally unrealistic because the two gold diggers, I wonder what happens if they were hotter. Would he still pick them? We don't know. Well, it really cracks me up. I mean, you're going to love this part. Arthurian legend, Tom. We got King Arthur, we got Lancelot, we got Guinevere. What does Guinevere hook up with? She hooks up with King Arthur. Says, I love this man. He's a good man. I'm going to hire him. I need his help. My kingdom's in trouble. But who does she cheat on behind his back?
Right.
Lancelot.
That's right. And by the way, women think that's a romantic story.
I know. On top of it, right? Women love this stuff. They love the Lancelot character. But
just like that, women like Bridges of Madison County. There was a woman who was screwing around.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And what does that leave me? I mean, I'm no friggin' Lancelot, and I'm certainly not King Arthur. What the hell am I, the stable hand? And it's like, Jesus, which one do you want? Do you want Lancelot or King Arthur? And
that's why I say don't buy, only lease. So many of these women are whores and sluts. Well, why not just, enjoy the fruits of what they've got and then get the hell out of there?
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, that's what I want to do. I just want to cut past all the BS between and just cut right to the chase. Hey, I like you. Do you like me? You don't like me? Okay, let me go on to the next one. Maybe if I ask 9 out of 10 girls, I get slapped in the face a few times, one's going to say yes. I just want to get right to that point. I'm tired of hearing them talk about, I don't care about what they do for a living. I don't care about if they like the Backstreet Boys or Cypress Hill. I just don't care.
Boys.
I mean, my apathy is like reached the limitations. I have no idea. I would rather pay a woman $300, knowing full well that I'm going to get laid that night, than pay for 3 dates, spend almost close to $500, and all I get is a little peck on the cheek.
Matt, thank you. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. David on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello. David.
Tom, how are you?
Great.
Well, I just wanted to tell you about a little unscientific experiment that a buddy of mine and I did. I live down in Orange County in Newport Coast, and I'm young, 41 years old, semi-retired, sold my company about 8 years ago. And, I'm very well taken care of for the rest of my life, and my daughter will be taken care of, and my grandchildren will be taken care of forever and ever. But, semi-retired, not really looking to do with much of anything, dressed like a slob. We go out to this place called Mastro's. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Been there a million times.
Yeah, well, went to Mastro's on PCH, which is the Viagra capital of the world.
Wait. Stop. There's a Mastro's on PCH in what city?
In Newport.
Is a Mastro's in Newport now? I didn't know.
In the Crystal Cove Shopping Center across from...
I had no idea.
Well, we needed one down here for all of the money hungers and hookers, women, and all of the older men with lots of money and endless supplies of little blue pills.
Plus after you've been at the bar in Beverly Hills at Mastro's, after you've had all those martinis, it's a little harder to drive home.
That is true. And, here where it's Silicon Valley, out here, we have it all to see.
Yes.
So we went out one night dressed as we usually are, like slobs, T-shirts, flip-flops, and jeans. And we went out when all of our wives went out, because we are all married. And I know that's shame on me, but I have an ironclad prenup, and I'm not even worried about it. So we went out, sat at the bar, kind of ignored every hot-looking woman that there was, and knew eventually one would definitely come knocking because we were being about as obnoxious and ignoring them as much as we possibly can. And the first woman who came up to us, I would say she was in her early 30s. She was, a 9 or a 10 for sure. And, of course, first words out of her mouth, "What do you do for a living?" So I said, "Nothing." And she said, "Oh, really?" She says, "I don't know if that's good or bad." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, how do you live?" I said, "Well." She said, "But how do you afford to live well?" I said, "I'm retired." She said, "What did you do?" So, of course, I continued to tell her. And the first word out of her mouth was, "What were the multiples on your sale?" And I said to her, "Excuse me, I'm completely perplexed. What do you mean the multiples?" And she said, "Well, what were your earnings and how much did they pay you? What were the multiples of your sale?" Of course, already this lovely hooker, a woman, was sort of quantifying how much money I had and whether I was worth trying to have sex with. Granted, none of us wanted to have sex with any of these women because we don't want it. And it was terrific. And it continued to go on. And, it went to the cars and to where do you live and to which community you live. Now, we went there both wearing wedding bands, not caring whether or not we would meet anybody. But it's amazing how these women have actually as few morals as us men have. The women are 10 times worse than we are. They want it worse than we do, and we're always the one pigeonholed as the bastards.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
So
absolutely true.
And listen, I'm a big fan of yours. Any guy who, early on in your career, I got married a number of years ago. The most important thing is the best legal counsel one can afford and the best prenuptial agreement you could have. And I wasn't getting those were the circumstances under which I would ever do something so foolish. But I have a great marriage. I have a great wife, and she knows what the limits and she signed the prenup.
And she signed the prenup.
listen, I don't know too many people that wouldn't have signed the prenup. So she is, she was with me when it was not so great, and she's with me when it's very great. And so she got a fixed amount, and that's fine. And it's fine. It leaves me enough to play around with, and it's great. And, any guy who doesn't do it, they're stupid. Can't think of any other word.
I agree. I agree with you.
You're great. I appreciate it, and it's always a blast to listen to. And I hope you continue on doing this for many, many years to come.
David, thank you for the call.
Okay, Tom, be well.
Appreciate it. Steve on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Tom, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing okay.
Well, I've got a little backup for you about how women are materialistic and in it for the money. This comes down to my education and what I've been doing with myself. I'm in my early 20s. I'm an engineer. I make much better money than an average person my age. And as soon as girls see that I have a big old nice brand new lifted truck, they begin to know me as the guy with the lifted truck. But the second they hear me speak about my education or what I had to do to earn it, they tune out. It's not important to them. It's not important the work that I put in to earn what I've got. All that's important is that I have money and that I can flaunt it. And I think it's also a status thing more so than just money. But a guy called in earlier saying younger girls are into the jock and it's kind of a status thing. And then as they grow older and mature, they're more into the money status thing. And I think that's true because when I served in the Marines, I was getting girls strictly because I was a Marine. It would start off with a genuine kind of bland conversation. And as soon as they said, oh, you're a Marine, it was over. And I can't tell you how many times that's gotten mutilated. So, aside from that, excuse me.
Yes.
Well, aside from that, I have a great story about a girl that wanted me to buy her a drink at a bar. So I was down in Orange County where, as you know, is one of the greatest places to find a materialistic girl.
Yes.
And the bar's crowded. It's hard for me to get up to the front and order a beer. So there's this real good-looking LA9 standing at the bar, and she's standing there. She's not ordering. She's just kind of sitting there being shy. So I said, hey, why don't you let me order a drink, and I'll buy you one too. She's like, all right. So she goes off to her friends real quick, comes back, and she says, well, can you get my friend this, and can you get my other friend that? And I say, okay, so she wants to take advantage of it, which I was not planning on buying her a drink in the first place. It was a little scheme. So I said, okay, I'll get you drinks. I go up to the bartender, and there's no way she can hear it because the place is so damn loud. I tell the guy, one Budweiser. He goes up, gets my drink. I go to the girl, and I say, all right, your drinks are on the way. I walk off. I paid my one Budweiser bill. And I stood there. I stood back at the back of the bar with my buddies, and I look over, and she's waiting there. She was waiting there for about 10, 15 minutes until she realized I never bought her a drink.
Perfect.
It was beautiful.
I love it. Steve, I'm proud. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you take me out Kobe followed by a thank you, Jesus?
Let's see what we can do for you here.
Oh.
This is about us. She's so special to me. You're beats in my heart. You're the air I breathe. She's so special to me.
Thank you, Jesus.
1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Very quickly. Kevin, and I mean quickly.
Tom, how you doing, buddy?
Okay.
Tom, I got a great story for you. Won't take up too much of your time. I was cracking up in the
Hopefully
car.
Hopefully more than 10
hearing
seconds.
the topic.
Okay. That was fascinating. Thank you for that story.
The Tom Leykis Show. Southern California's FM talk station. 97.1 free.